J-Day. Hope all is well. Love and light, guys. Today, guys, I wanted to talk about construction and, building in Dominican Republic, how prices have gone up. I have a special guest. I told you guys previously that I was going to be going live. I put an announcement in the community section. So, you guys that don't know, I do post things in my community section. So, you make sure you check out the community section. But yeah, as I said, we're going to be talking about construction, what things to do, things not to do. I have a special guest. This guy's been traveling back and forth to Dominican Republic, just like myself. He's been traveling to DR for a while now. He's experienced, so I want to bring him on and just give his point of view and advice. Things that there was things that he told me that I didn't know. So it's always good to get information from different people. I'm sure it can help you guys along your journey. For those of you who are looking to buy land or looking to build, or even people who are looking to invest in DR. All right, so I'm gonna bring him on, and his name is Clint. Clint, got your channel from the Dominican root, Haitian gunman. What's going on, Haitian gunman? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So yeah, as I said, I'm on here, and we're gonna be talking about construction and any questions you guys may have. Feel free to chime in the chat section. All right. So Clint, you can come on in now.
Yo,
Clint, what's going on, my brother? What's going on?
okay. I gotta put my hat on because nobody will recognize me.
Yeah. Now
Now
you
that
go.
now the
I I ain't mad at you. I got one too. Don't make me pull mine out of the closet because I got one too. I, s- I see you. I see. So you sell King Corsos too. You a breeder? Because I was
yeah,
checking out.
I used to be, but I got out of it. I did it for a lot of years, but I still got my line out there through a couple buddies of mine that
Okay.
that are still doing it.
Listen. That could be a lucrative business in DR. I got another viewer of mine that wanted to do that. I mean, what you got that face, so I guess you tried it already. Like it's not what?
The dog's too big over there, and the dog, you see, it's laying in the air. They don't
Uh
like
huh.
heat. They don't like
Okay,
heat.
okay. So that's
Now,
the problem.
what would be a good dog over there?
Uh huh.
Because these dogs eat.
Uh
These
huh.
dogs shit. So you want to get like a Dogo Argentina.
Uh
And that's
huh.
the Spanish breed.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean? And it's recognized down that way.
Okay. I got
Yeah.
what about bullies? Because I got somebody that wanted to do bullies. What do you think about
Where
bullies? I mean, they're
where
just like pit bulls to me.
in the DR?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, those maybe those little designer ones, but otherwise they don't do nothing. And those
Uh-huh.
dogs have a lot of ailments.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Respiratory problems and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
their face is so smashed, they designed them to make them have a smashed face, and to make that designer dog, it comes out with a lot of imperfections. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In its health.
Yeah. Yeah.
This dog here has been like this for a couple thousand years.
Oh wow. Wow. How old is it?
Molasses.
How
She's
old is it?
she's about 7.
Oh, okay.
So that's my last one that I'm getting hit there that of this. But my
Mm-hmm.
next dog is going to be Jack Russell, and
Okay.
this way I can take it with me.
Uh-huh.
They
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
take a dog on a plane over 70 pounds.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I already said, once my house is built and I'm down there full time, I want to get a few dogs. But
Yeah.
so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I already got a one of the viewers saying let's talk about scammers and builders who be trying to scam and scamming in construction and all of that. But before we get into all of that, just introduce yourself to the people. Well, first off, guys, how Clint and I connected. It just so happens that my cousin is a broker in the states, and he does real estate, and he showed me Clint's YouTube channel. So I checked out his channel. I said, okay, and he's like, I said, yo, one thing about DR, it's all about connecting. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So I reached out to him, and it just so happened Clint was already following me. It was crazy, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Well,
Yeah,
as you know, you have to do the right thing because it's a small world.
it did right, and it's true. It's true. So that's pretty much how Clint and I connected. But Clint, go ahead and tell the people who you are, what you do. Tell them about yourself.
Well, my real name, my title is Chef Clint Johnson. I'm a famous celebrated chef back where I come from in Philadelphia. Worked my way off the streets vending in Philadelphia down into Delaware, and then now I'm here in South Carolina. So I've done that. I ran a restaurant and barbecue and catering business for about 30 years,
Okay, okay.
and that's what I started doing, and
Uh
that's
huh.
how I met your cousin when I was getting ready to move. He see my sign, you
Uh
know what I
huh.
mean? But before I moved down here, I always wanted to get into the real estate business because obviously that barbecue game was difficult,
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. It's a
very,
lot of
very difficult.
It's a lot of competition in the South with that. A lot.
Yeah, well, but basically back home, you used to be able to save some money, and now you couldn't. The prices just went up and up and up, and I was chasing my tail. And what
Yeah.
had happened was I had a high mortgage out there in Delaware. I only bought the crib for 250,000.
Uh
I
huh.
paid on it for 15 years, and I gave the bank in payment 210,000. And
Uh
I
huh.
asked the bank, "How much do I owe you still?" They said, "You still owe 230."
Uh huh. Shit.
And I said, "That's what I'm saying." And I had
Yeah.
another 15 years to go,
Uh
and I
huh.
would turn 60 years old, and the business wasn't producing anymore.
Uh huh.
So even if I sold the house right then and there after being in there for 15 years, after giving them 250,000, I only stood to make $19,000.
That's
And,
crazy.
and and the move cost me, give or take that to get down here.
Uh
But
huh.
how I got into the game, it's a learning process. I got into the game dealing with mobile homes.
Uh huh.
Fixing and refurbishing mobile homes, going to the parks, learning the rules and regulations, on a small scale. And,
Okay.
and simultaneously, I was dealing with some of the tax sales down here in the South. And I couldn't believe that this is my house here,
Uh
two,
huh.
3 bedroom, 2 bath. I got this house for $1,300 on a back tax sale.
Wow.
And then while I was still working up there, was able to fix this up and I was going to sell it.
Uh
And I
huh.
said, I'm not going to sell this. I'm just going to move
Mhm.
and, just forget my business up there. I gave my business to my workers, moved
Mhm.
down here sight unseen. I didn't have any mortgage now,
Uh huh.
but I took that mortgage money that
Mhm.
I was supposed to, pay, just give to the mortgage company, $2,000 a month. I took that money and started investing
Uh huh.
within the land over at the DR
Okay.
because
Okay.
because you know I was involved with the DR long before I got to South Carolina. But once I knew I was going to get involved with the Dominican Republic, I had to have the ultimate exit strategy.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
and the exit strategy was getting out of a mortgage, getting
Mhm.
somewhere, what I mean, down in South Carolina. That's where I'm at, Denmark, South Carolina. My
Mhm.
taxes are only $500. That's all I have to come up with a year. I'm getting
Mm.
my Social Security now at 62.
Mhm.
I only get 1,100 bucks, but I'm saving 2,000 bucks with that mortgage.
You right.
You
Right.
see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And and the getting was good down here. I brought several uh, tax sale delinquent tax homes down here for maybe 20,000 or so, and I
Mm-hmm.
fixed them up and I sold them. And I'm trying to provide low, cheap, affordable housing for for friends and family.
Okay.
And I'm instrumental in bringing about maybe about 6 or 7 families down here in 2 years by
Okay.
just fixing up, the houses and and just offering it to them, cheap and letting them know how to do it and how to maneuver, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And like I said, it's all about taking it on the chin.
Mm-hmm.
If you took it on the chin, and you're willing to pass that wisdom on, I feel honored that I have a little bit of knowledge that I could just give to people and kind of school them the right
Right.
way so they can be happy, so they can be enjoyable, and so they can look back in the previous life and say, something, I've been taken advantage this whole time.
Right.
I just
Right.
wish that somebody would have schooled me. I wish maybe, somebody had took interest in me and mentored me the right
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money. It takes a proper mentor.
It does. It sure does. And that's what I told my viewers, like, you all the years I've been going back and forth to DR since 2015 or 2016. I think 2016. So I bought my land back in. I had it a few years before I even got started, but I
Hmm.
had to go. I had to maneuver myself, trusting somebody, and building that trust. It was a process. So it wasn't something that I just was like, flat out just gonna do. This is my hard earned money that I'm talking about. And even
Yeah.
still, it cost me some thousands of dollars, through the process. And
Yeah. I would say almost as much as the build.
well, I wouldn't say almost the bill. Thank God, but
Well, if you was going back and forth for 10 years, oh yes it was, because each one time you come, you're dropping at least 3 grand
right,
times 10 years.
right, and
That's
it's
30
true.
stacks right there.
And that's what I be telling a lot of brothers. Like, if you can make it to DR twice a year and spend 3,000 every time you come in, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to hold off on traveling, sacrifice a year or two, and save up enough money so that you can buy you some land. That
Yeah.
that this is what we call invest. Sacrificing. I had to do it. You know what I mean? Like I ain't had a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, and
They're waiting for us to do it.
right,
And then,
right, right.
all my friends are like that. They're waiting for me to do it and say, "Oh, I don't have to build because I'm waiting for you." And I'll stay there. I'll be your
You're
place.
right,
Not
right, right. Or on the other hand, I got people. Oh, I'll just wait until you finish getting your house built, and then I'll make a move. You know what I mean? I'll make a
yeah,
move. But
yeah,
either way, I tell people, the time is now. When it comes to investing in Dominican Republic, only because, as you know, you do real estate down in the DR, and also let the people know. Tell the people your YouTube channel so that they know your
yeah.
YouTube.
Yes. I'm the Golden Eagle Homestead Services. I have two projects going on in El Coupe and La Bohia in Puerto Plata, overlooking Playa Dorado, right next to the Mount Isabella. So you got the most perfect ocean view. I do have
Uh-huh.
drone footage, and I'm up for to answer all type of questions. We have property.
So he's got some properties and stuff out there in DR, and it's all about. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You know what I mean? And that's why we connect. We connected. You know what I mean? And not just that, it goes back to a client that I spoke to you guys about previously,
Uh,
that I dealt business
Excuse me.
with.
Excuse me. Do you hear something? Is my phone messing up?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I hear a train.
Okay, a little, just a little bit, but I can hear you. I can hear you though. Can y'all
I
can
hear.
y'all can y'all
I
hear
can
him? Y'all
hear.
can. What about
I
the viewers? Can y'all hear him clearly?
There you go. I heard
Relationship.
a train or
Okay, all
something.
right, you good, good, good. Relationship and loyalty matters. Yo, Paige, what's going on, my guy? I appreciate you.
What?
But yeah, it was going back to what I was saying, guys. About you know when you if
That
this
that
is something, huh? Yeah, they saying they can hear you fine. They can hear you fine. Everybody can hear you fine. But can you hear me, Clint? I think I think he got disconnected. Let me see. Oh man, let me see, guys. Let me see if I could. I don't.
okay. I'm there.
You okay? All right, good. So, it was going back to what I was saying about building in the Dominican Republic. You see, I tell people, Clint, I tell them I'm like I'm the way. I'm the way. You know what I mean? I just set the path for people. You know what I mean? In terms of building and going through it. Things that they don't have to go through. It's not. It's a cutthroat. It's unfortunate that it's a cutthroat, kind of a situation. But that's just what it is. When you're dealing with people who are just living day to day to get by, that's just the mentality. There's a lot of things that I had to learn. That not just that, learning how to be patient. Being from New York, we want things in the New York minute. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot of things that I had to learn along the way in order to, for me to get this far.
And what you know now, you may not. It may not be able to apply because the generations change. It clicks like a calendar every 4 to 5 years.
Mhm.
When these
Mhm.
old folks die, and then their children are involved in it. It's now all of a sudden it's valuable.
Right. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Because, like I said, when I first started looking, I was seeing $10 a meter, $20 a meter was high.
And I said to myself then, Clint, not to cut you off, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have, started this a long time ago, man. When the prices was that cheap. Oh
Yeah,
man.
but we thought that we could get it for cheaper because if they're telling us 10, we know that it's 5.
Right.
So here we are going to wait it out, and then that generation, is not no longer there 10 years from now. Now it's up at 90.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just like
And
that. And the American ways are coming as far as the government rules and regulations. And
mhm.
and that's going to be a big pitfall, what I mean, for a lot of people that just think that they could just, go out there and build like the
Right.
old ones.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Things are going to have to be permitted, documented, and as far as proper surveys and all of that. If
Mhm.
you're going to protect your investment, I suggest that you do things the proper way,
Right. Right. And
regardless
even go ahead, Clint.
regardless if you're in the country or the tourist sector, because the tourist sector has a whole different rules and regulations.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? As far as the taxes are concerned, as far as, how big you can build and all of those, restrictions, and rules and
Yeah.
regulations.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of people knocking on your door talking about, you owe them money. You
Mhm.
know, the conservation people, the sewage people, you'll be surprised. But
Mhm.
but but like I said, you have to be open to it. You got to be put in these uncomfortable situations. And then if you can figure your way out of it, you learned yourself something.
Mhm.
It's all, if you're a businessman, problems are problems. You just got to figure it out without
Right.
getting taken.
Right. And but you know what? In business, you always lose. You know, you win, you know, you
Yeah,
always,
yeah,
and you have to go in it with that mindset. You know, like
yeah,
you
yeah.
always
Well,
take. I've been in business a long time. You know, I've taken losses in business, but in order to take a loss, you know, you got you gain. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You have, you
yeah. You
know,
got
so.
it's all about making them happy, and that's it with the Dominican people. You know what I mean? You might have a friend and he hangs with you all day, but you still got to take care of them and make them happy. Unlike what I mean, me hanging out with you in New York.
Hmm.
It's a unwritten rule to kind of look out and make people happy.
Yeah.
And that goes for business. I'm not just talking about just friendship, but it times that by 10 over there because they all think that you got some money.
Right, right. They don't realize how hard, you know, that we work, you know.
Yeah,
Like, and I tell people, you know, don't go by what you see. All the glitters ain't gold. You know what I mean? I
no,
tell people straight
no,
up. You know,
no,
listen.
no.
I work hard. I've worked hard to get this far. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It wasn't. It's not easy. You know.
And before you even get to that point, way before you get to that point of building and everything like that, you're going to have to get that honeymoon phase out of you. You're going to lose and find yourself so many times, over there. That's going to, derail your dreams. I don't want to be over here. Then you fall back and you go back and you say, hey, I kind of like it again. Because you're kind of figuring out the culture until you get your finger on the pulse of the culture.
Uh huh.
Then you can make the proper decisions. Am I going to go into it wholeheartedly or not?
Right.
You got to give
Right.
yourself that time to grow, to understand. It's like pinball. You're going to be bounced around, bounced around to this person. You know what I mean? Hopefully you score. You know what I mean? You don't want to get gutter balls. You know what I mean? And hopefully, with the luck of the Lord, you wind up. Because after you go through the pinball machine, then you're going to have to say, lawyer, do I trust you? At the end of that, there's a smiley man talking about, you know, 'cause you got to trust them, the
Uh huh.
lawyer, and ain't nothing in escrow.
Right. Dominican Root, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you. Yo, it's the reason why I'm laughing because I was that pinball. I had to
Yeah,
go, I had to go through all of that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
To get this
yeah,
far. And it goes back to one of the viewers said, he said, how do you communicate? You know, it just so happened with me, my partner speaks, you know, I would say broken English and I speak broken Spanish. So it's enough for us to get by and understand each other and communicate, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's not what you know, it's who you know. I'm not gonna, you know, come on here when my chest all puffed up and say, oh, I did this on my own. I would have
yeah,
never gotten this far if it wouldn't have been for my partner. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
I could
yeah,
come home and rest and sleep at night knowing that everything that I put, all my hard earned money is everything is being taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard to come by in the DR.
Oh,
It
well,
just
you're
is.
lucky. You're super lucky when it comes to that.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
know,
know,
you're
I'm blessed. I wouldn't say lucky. I say blessed. That's a blessing.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
blessing, bro. It's a blessing, and you know that's why. Like I tell people, you don't have to. Anybody that's looking to buy land, or you don't have to worry. You know, remember the client that I don't know if I told you guys about that client that I had to give. It was a long story, but this was Clint was the person that came back to me with the client. So anyway, the client that I had met on YouTube, they reached out to me on YouTube. It was a deal that they decided they didn't want no parts of. I ended up giving them their money back. Went back online trying to find somebody, right? They end up bumping into Clint. End up bumping into Clint, and then you know, after all of that, I guess I don't know. You showed them the properties that you had. What was the case?
yeah.
I guess they weren't interested in it and all this and all of
Well,
that. So make a long story short. You know,
Yeah.
they found somebody else, online, and it just
which
it just
which is only right to to look around, but
right,
they
right,
were moving kind of fast
right. They were moving real fast, real
with
fast.
no
I mean,
safety net, with no safety net.
Exactly, with no safety net at all. Even it just so happened that once things didn't work out, or they didn't like whatever Clint had, and Clint ended up contacting me and said, "Hey Jay, I got this couple from," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, is it a couple from didn't I say? I
Connecticut,
said, is it a couple from where the hell they from again?
Connecticut,
Connecticut.
Connecticut. I think.
And he was like, yeah, it is. I'm like, see, it just you see how it turns around full circle. It's a small community in this. You
Yes,
don't never know who knows who, and that's why when it goes, my reputation. When it comes to my reputation, I don't play that because I could have easily not have given them their money back, and then what would have happened? you know my reputation could have been ruined, but that's not who I am. I really tried to help these people. Clint did
yeah,
too. Clint did
yeah,
too. So
yeah.
now, they're in a situation to whereas they done bought this property all the way out in Luperone, right, all the way out in Luperone, which I just told him it was a bad decision. It was a bad decision only because you have no contacts out there, none. So they don't know whether or not the land was theirs. I didn't know, so I had to reach out to them. Just even though they decided not to, go do business with me, I still reached out to them out of concern, only because like I just did. I felt like we were relatable only because we work in the same field. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
make a long story short, I told her you should have gotten your own lawyer to protect yourself. That was the first thing you
Always.
should have done, and that's where they went wrong. They trusted you. You rather trust somebody. They put all this trust in somebody who they don't even know. At least you see online, on YouTube, the process and what I'm going through. You can
Yeah,
see, and you trusted
yeah.
somebody that you didn't know, and you don't even know if the property is yours. So I gave her my lawyer's number. She reached out to my lawyer. My lawyer, she contacted me today and actually told me that she's going to figure out whether or not she's going to make a move with the lawyer. Because my lawyer advised her, you don't have no contacts. She advised her that you need somebody to manage your property out there. Anybody can come out there and just squat on your property,
Mhm.
and
I
then
told him about that.
she also said that they tried to charge her 4,000 US dollars to just put to barricade to close off her property. For I said, see, this is what you would have avoided had you decided to go through me. You wouldn't have had worried about your property not being managed. One, you would have gotten a good deal on all of that. You have no contacts out there, so now they're going to charge you gringo price. But you decided to go out there, so now this is what you got to deal with. And they haven't even gotten started with the construction. So can you
Ain't
imagine what
gonna
they're
be
going to go
none.
through?
Ain't gonna be none.
No, no, man, listen. And not just that, the lawyer said to me, Clint, he said, because I didn't tell you this, he told me, he said that the everything is okay with the contracts. The problem is that the owner that owns that property, somebody else owns it, and they didn't sign off on it.
Yeah,
They didn't sign off on the contract. So that's the problem. And my lawyer said if they don't sign off on it, that could be a really a big problem for them. Thank
yeah.
goodness
Well,
for J
it'll
Day.
have to
Salute my
kind of
brother.
go back. It'll kind of go back to something like their probate court, something like that. You know what I mean? If there's a dispute between the families and wills and all that other stuff. But you know what I mean? But that could be years,
Exactly.
especially
Exactly.
if they have to pay something back. Why
Mm.
should I, go to court?
Exactly. So
You
she,
know?
I don't know, I told her, I said, look, just keep me posted. And this ain't costing me nothing. Nothing at all. You know what I mean? And I told her, she said, Jay, I said, listen, the only reason why I'm having this conversation with you is because I know that if it were up to you, you would have still rocked with me. It's the husband that's sitting there playing the sideline, got his wife out there. And I told her, I said, he's the one that's you got you out there doing all the footwork.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I threw the red carpet out a little bit, because, since they didn't want the land, So I mean, even before when you first call me and want to start dealing with me and ask me questions, first thing I say to you, that first of all you got the right person because you're 1 second. My,
But
oh,
yeah, you already know my lawyer is definitely gonna take care of you, and I appreciate that. You know you in good hands. I got one.
so what?
I got the chat. I got for those of you guys. I'm on my phone, so I can't really see the chat because I'm on my phone. It's just chats popping up only because I guess it's double screen. This is my first time doing an actual interview on the channel. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of new to this, guys. So
Okay.
y'all bear with me. But yeah,
Where,
I really
where was my train of thought? Where was I?
no, we was just talking about the whole situation with the 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 couple and
Well, yeah. As I was saying, if I can't befriend you, in this whole transaction, because I'm not going to be bending over backwards for somebody I don't like, first of all, because you're going to have to bend over backwards and make sure that everything is, copacetic and proper. Because, like I said, I mean, we've been taking it on the chin thus far for many, many, many years. We know
mhm,
what we're talking about and we know, how to maneuver. And
mhm,
for me to make you privy of this information, you got to at least treat me like, not like a shyster.
right.
Unlike a shyster, although she didn't want to, do business with me, I said, well, still, I'm going to give you the recipe. This is step one. Get
Mhm,
your title. Take a look
mhm,
at your title. Here's a good lawyer that's not going to charge you nothing to look at the title. You don't deal with their realtor. You
mhm,
don't deal with their lawyer. Take your own realtor to bump heads with his realtor. And then once you make the deal, bring them both back to your lawyer.
mhm.
So, I was trying to school them, the proper way, and it may have sounded like a little abrasive,
Yeah,
but
well, that's what she said. That's it's funny you say that because she said to me, "Oh, you know, and I think she was kind of treading lightly with me because she didn't know the extent of our relationship. You know what I'm saying? So she was
yeah.
kind of like careful of how she said things, but in so many words, she said that I already know what it is. You came straight at her. You was real with her. You was real. You was straight
Well,
up.
that's
No,
when
you was
I
no
got
host.
extra
You was no
real.
host fucking bar. You was no host fucking bar with her. That's what it was. And I think
Well,
that.
that's because she was getting ready to go out there and she had nobody to run an interference.
Uh huh.
And that's what I was trying to throw myself in to run interference for her.
Uh huh.
But she went around me. And, then she called me back, very happy and everything. And I was happy for her. And
Right.
then, she
Right.
called me back about a week later. And she says, something, I got a bad taste in my mouth. Something just ain't sitting right. And then, I just started asking the pertinent questions. And, it just didn't hold water. And
Right.
that's where it's at, No
Uh huh.
dislinde, what I mean? No dislinde, which shows how much land is in that particular area to that property. And that property there was supposed to be 10,000 meters,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So that,
that's what the paperwork said. The paperwork when she sent me the sent she because she sent it to me and I looked it over and I said, that's a first of all, when I looked at the price, I said, I don't know about that. I just started I think what it was is I from what I told her, she started getting scared. And as you should, she started getting scared and I was supposed to get back to her. And then when I reached out to my partner Chamo told me, he said, Jay, you done tried to help these people so much. He was like, they done cost you time, they done cost you money. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
washed my hands with it. And that's why she went to you. After I washed
yeah,
my
yeah,
hands, she went to you. And that's
yeah.
basically how
But,
that went down.
she didn't allow me to help her. And I sent her to my architect, although my architect spoke English and she, was in love with him. But, everything else, not from my lawyer, not to, how to set up a bank account, not
Uh-huh.
to go out there and physically look at the land and the topography of the land, if there's any any water runoff, or, any imperfections. Is there coral? Is the land dense? Is it too soft? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There has been no analysis to the
Uh-huh.
land. You know what I
Right.
mean? No
Right.
compression tests or none of that.
Because
Because
usually,
they have no
usually,
idea.
so usually, you get a soil sample done to make sure, that,
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, see, that's why you build around other people,
right, right.
so you know what's going on. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You're pretty much going on. But when you go way, 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 way out there in left field, no, there's no houses out there for a reason.
It's facts.
And let
It's
me tell
true.
you about the Dislinde, because people really don't understand what the Dislinde is.
Yeah,
You
tell them,
know,
because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. So those of you guys who are looking, this is valuable information. So I suggest you listen in on this. So go ahead
and
with the Displinde.
I'm going to send you what a title looks like at another time, so you can post that, and I will also post what a official title looks like to property on the Golden Eagle Homestead Services.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Dislinde, give you an example. The owner of my particular property had 23,000 meters
Mm-hmm.
on their land, on their particular land that they owned. So this Linde had to show all of that, the
Right.
23,000, every bit of it. So
Right.
then once you show that they have this land, and normally it's a big piece of land,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot.
then
That's a lot.
and then you set up the contract and everything like that. You go to the lawyer, and then once it's transferred over to you, then you have the survey resurveyed to break off that piece off of that Dislinde.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pay taxes on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get the proper title. But still, it's the Dislinde is the whole masterpiece.
Uh-huh.
So that piece out there, that 10,000 meters out there, so they might have had a piece of property that might have been a couple miles wide. And so
Right.
when you have a property that's so big, it takes so long to
Long. Right. Yeah.
chop it up into small bite-sized pieces, that
Mm-hmm.
your title might be forever,
Yep. Yep.
because they got to chop the whole property. Once you survey one piece of property on that 23,000, you got to survey it all.
You sure do, and not just that. And
So,
then the process, it could take months.
well, they
Once.
might not have the money, because on my particular project, it was 35 pieces, parcels on one side, and when I had my survey, it was $250 to survey it. So she's going to have not well, she had to pay for it the first time, all the way
Uh-huh.
down 250 times the 35, and if she didn't have that money to do that, to cut them up,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Then the whole deal would have never went through. It all has to be cut up
Yeah.
like a pie before they
Right.
can sell it. Reflected in the Dislinde, and reflected each piece of those survey parcels with an identificating number.
Hmm.
And to identify all of these different parcels, it takes time. So if you got a mega piece, like a masterpiece, and you're trying to pull one little 500 meters out of this mile strip, that
Hmm.
title may be forever, because it costs so much money to break it down.
Right.
So when you buy a piece of property, you don't want to get it from a property that's too big.
Too big.
You
It's
know,
true.
you want to
And
get it
this is
maybe
why
25,000 meters and down.
a lot of properties that I'm selling, a lot of them are big lots, and the owners don't want to do it. They want to sell all at once for that reason, because it costs
Yeah.
it costs it costs a lot, and it takes time, like just like you said. So
Yeah.
I didn't understand it before, but I get it. I get it now. That's why when properties like that, they rather just sell it all opposed to breaking
Yeah.
it down in parcels. Yeah.
And another thing that I just found out, so I'm always finding out something because I got a nose for trouble. I told you that. You, you know what I'm saying? I got a nose for trouble because my whole life I've been getting out of trouble. God's been with me. God's been with me, and I'm able to counsel people that needs counseling because they're in trouble. You know what I'm
uh,
saying? Thank God I can give something back. So, so what I was saying was that now when you buy a piece of property in America or wherever, in so they say in a civilized society, you both parties come to the table. You put up an S. You put up that first initial down payment,
hmm
right? And then your lawyer holds that in escrow.
Right.
And then at the table, you put all the money up with the taxes. You pay the
hmm
taxes to the lawyer and you pay for the property. And then he goes, handles that business for you. Then you get the title in the mail.
Right.
Over there, I thought that, what I mean, I thought it was like this. I had a proper lawyer. So I
Uh
thought I had the proper a person that sell me the land. Thank God that she was up to snuff. You know what I mean? Because I was the first one to buy in her project, and she was green, and we were
uh
kind of learning together. So that
uh
was a blessing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So what had happened was, well, make a long story short, that once you buy the property, you do not have
G
to give
G
the
Styles,
lawyer
what's
the
going
tax
on,
money.
bro?
You pay for the property, period. And that 3% you're supposed to pay to the government, you do not have to give that to the lawyer to represent you to go get your title. So they will notify your the owner that the dislinde has been cut. And
hmm
then once they find out that this Linde, that parcel was pulled off of their masterpiece, then you go down and they match up the numbers, and you can pull the money, the 3%, and pay
hmm
it right then and there.
Okay.
Or you can manipulate the money and say, "Hey, I brought it for a cheaper price."
Right.
Because the lawyer's going to hold you to nails and say, "Oh, you paid $50,000. I need 3% of that. I need 3,500." Then he's going to go over there and say, "Oh, you only bought it for 20,000," and you know
Right.
what I mean, and
Right.
pocket that other 2 grand. In my
Exactly.
particular case, he I waited almost a year, and I said, "Where's my title? Where's my title?" And he says, "Well, you never commissioned me to get the title, and over here I'm not responsible for the title." And all I knew is that the lawyer's always responsible for the taxes and paying, the transfer.
Right.
Always. So I'm thinking with that philosophy. And so
hmm
he told me, no, I never gave him nothing. I gave him the 3%.
hmm
So what I did, I kept my receipts because he didn't think I was going to have that receipt. And
And that's
then once
another.
I whip
Yeah.
the receipt out on his ass, and then he's going to say, "Oh, the secretary fumbled the ball and didn't push the paperwork forward because here initially I am not responsible," which is the truth. He's not really responsible for that.
Right.
So he took that money and pocketed it, and I had to prove to get it back. And
hmm
now, once I got my money back, I had to find another lawyer to push it through.
See. See. So you
You
guys got to
know,
be. You
and I
got.
got it back, and I got it back in 3 months.
Look at that. So you were lucky. You were lucky that the
But
situation could
that
have been.
comes down that comes down to the anchor man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the last man with the baton, and all he has to do is take it over the goddamn finish line. Excuse my French. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
he done turned and ran the other way. That's
Yeah,
what it felt like.
he got his money. He got his money, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And
Yeah,
that's another thing. When people that are, looking to invest in DR, because I got a lot of clients that reach out to me, man, and you can't invest in DR and have, a westernized mentality in terms of real estate,
no,
because it doesn't work that way.
because a
It just
lie is not a lie.
right,
A
right. It
lie is
just
not a lie. It's just that's what happened to come out my mouth that particular second. And matter of fact, I never said it or know anything about it. A
uh-huh.
lie is not a lie. You know what I mean? Here, unless it's on the other foot, then they'll hold it to you. You promise somebody, a tank full of gas. They'll hold it you to it.
Right.
But on the other foot, nobody knows what you're talking about.
Hmm. It's
You
true.
know, but it comes down, like I said, it comes down to, before you get to the anchor guy, what I mean, there's a lot of training and a lot of other meats you got to get before that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're hoping that the lawyer does the right thing for you. Because I thought I had it all figured out,
Yeah.
and because what I did, because see, this is what I was offering to the lady. This is the kind of deal that you should hear right
Uh-huh.
here. If you came to me and you wanted a piece of property, I was going to make it to you un undeniably 100% safe. This is what I was going to do. You like that property, right? Okay, it's $25,000. Say, how much do you want? They say, you want 10%? I say, no, because I'm worried about, you know, if everything's going to be, kosher. Let's figure this out first. And
Right.
I say, let's finish that. Let's figure out our banking system and let's figure out our transfer. Let's figure all that stuff out. So, what I want you to do is put down 1% and then go home. And I will give you up to 60 days to come up with that proper decision, whether you
Hmm.
want to move forward. And if you want to
Hmm.
move forward, then you put the 10% down. And
Hmm.
not only with that 10%, I was going to stretch the payment out over 6 months.
Uh-huh.
So anytime you could have backed out and not got bit for, a great deal, a lot of money. Because the
Hmm.
10%, the first 1% was only $250 if you changed your mind. Then at 10%, it would only been $2,000, 2,500 if you changed your mind at the 10%.
Hmm.
You understand? But
Yeah,
by that
yeah.
time, you would have had all your research done.
Done.
You
Right.
would have had, your survey, and you could have checked out the flavor of the people that you were dealing with,
Hmm.
all of that. You got to set them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to set them up. They're
See,
setting you up.
I was just reading
You
G
got to set
Styles'
them.
comment. He said that he had purchased some land in Samana, and the deal fell. It didn't fall through only because it had more than multiple owners. And you got to be You got to be careful. You definitely got to be careful with that.
Well, that's the family. That's the family. Normally, when somebody passes, and up in those areas like Samaná, Cabrera,
Uh-huh.
Luperon, and back away from the tourist sector, they are all owned by families.
Yeah. Yeah.
Land rich and money poor. So a
Hmm.
lot of them, want to hold. Then you got the new generation that want to sell, and you
Yeah,
got a
and
few
that's
holdouts.
the issue. I have this property in Los Castillos. This property is like 99 Tareas. I mean, it's when I tell you it's
Yeah,
huge,
yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I couldn't even go through that all of the property, but the owners are from New York. I know them personally, and I'm trying to convince them. I said, "Yo, let's do a project," but it's
yeah,
like 10 of them that own it, and they want to sell it all, and they want like 1.8 million for it. They said
yeah.
they'll take 1.5. But I told them it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to sell that, unless I find a big investor that's looking to do something like that. But I told her, I said, it's better we do a project, and once we do a project, we could you'll make more money doing a project. You'll make more money doing a project rather than selling it all, all at once like that. But
Yeah,
like you
well,
said, the
yeah,
new,
well, basically, like hold on to the whole thing, like Casa Linda. Set up your
Mhm.
HOA and set up your builders and let it
exact
fly.
exactly, because I told them, I said, listen, I have my team, but they want the money. They want the money now.
Yeah,
Actually, that's not
yeah,
hard to tell. Definitely someone to talk to. Um, well, you're right. You're right. It's all about marketing too. You're right. It's all about marketing, but it's a great location. I don't know if you've seen the video. It's right in Los
yeah,
Castillos. It's not too far from Sosua. It's a great location for somebody that's looking to do a good investment. But guys, like I was telling Clint, him and I, we both from the East Coast, and it's not it's not about the money. It's never been
yeah.
about the money. Never been
No,
about the money with me. You know what I mean? Listen,
yeah,
I'm growing my empire. I believe, like, yo, we help people and making a little money at the same time, and we all happy. That's what it's all about. You know
yeah.
what I
Well,
mean?
being a roadside chef, brother, I always been a servant of the people, and I wouldn't have
All my
lasted
life.
so long by being a shaky and shifty sucker, especially serving food. You know what I mean? You have to. I thought this is what I thought, brother. When I
Right.
went into business, I said I'm going to be all powerful and almighty. You understand? But
Yeah.
little did I know that I had to give up all the power to the people and just be a servant to them if I'm going to survive in this game.
It's
And I've
fact.
learned that.
Facts.
And this goes in this situation also.
Hmm.
If you help somebody out and if you get them established, it'll take off like wildfire. And like I told the lady, I said, I'm really adamant about selling you this property here because I'm going to live here. Not only am I going to sell you where I'm going to live so I'm not going to beat you living next door to you. I'm going to help you grow throughout the whole process from the
Process.
planting of the trees to the digging of the pool. And what any service and this is the service I'm offering, and this goes for you on your next bill because
Hmm.
you know me, I'm I always work for myself for reasons. I made
Yeah.
some major mistakes in my life. When I was 20 years old, I can't carry a gun. I could never be a doctor or lawyer because I did a little time when, I was young. You understand? So I
Yeah.
already knew I have to wing it. And so I'm in 100% control of my life at all times. You understand?
That's what's
So
up.
this means if you got a project going on, I'm on the first plane smoking until the first brick goes, until the water gets turned on and you're taking the shower. And I will be the project manager and I will document every piece of rebar with pictures and videos and the pour, the testing of the concrete, to being the home inspector to make sure the gauge of the wiring is correct, making sure that the mortar is poured in the ideal temperatures. Having the ability to shut the job down because
Hmm.
there's issues.
Right.
You understand? So, but someone, that's got your best interest, like a project outside project manager.
And that's what you need. You need that. You need that in
Yes,
DR. You need that.
because in actuality, that's your job because it's your build. Your tail need to be sleeping up in there watching your material. You understand?
And the
But
builder,
that's
by the way, of the viewers, Jay is one official individual and has let me down in the process of buying the land. Yeah, I can't read all of your the comments are coming in and out. They're coming out fast. Only because, like, normally when I'm on here just by myself doing a live, or I can read all the, I can see the feed, but the feed is no feed here, guys. So I apologize for that. I'm not on my laptop. I'm on my computer. Yeah. But yeah, it's all about having somebody that you can trust. I mean, last when I first started with my project, I was down there like last year 4 or 5 times.
yeah,
Yeah, in one
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
sure that everything was okay. And then, I'm entrusting because I don't think a lot of I never really got into the full story as far as like what happened, why I had to change builders, but I'll tell, and this it goes. I'm telling you, I had to go through it. So me going through this, people don't have to go through this anymore. I done paved that way for
Yeah.
y'all. But I
Yeah.
had to get rid of my old builder only because what really made me start second get questioning him. It wasn't even the build. It was the fact that I had another client that I had put him in contact with,
Mhm.
and he was supposed to. We were supposed to start the client's build. I'm busy. I
Mhm.
got a lot of stuff going on. So out of the blue, I said, let me reach out to the client. So I reached out to him. I said, yo, what's going on with you? What's going on? When are we gonna get started with your project? You know what he told me? He said,
What?
I didn't already gave Kiko the money. I didn't already gave Kiko the money. I said, wait a minute, what? You done already did what? So then that's when the antenna started going up. You know, uh, I was just like, wow. First of all, I was upset with the client because you were supposed to contact me, You were supposed to contact me. So that's why, I don't even, anybody that needs services, they have to go through me. It's a
Yeah.
learning lesson.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
I started to question things. So I reach out to Kiko. We going back and forth. Even the commission that he was supposed to give me, I wasn't even going to take that money. I was going to tell him, you use that money for the materials and continue on with the house. You see what I'm saying? I had no
Yeah.
intentions on taking the money. So
Yeah.
he's giving me all these excuses. Oh, the build, it wasn't a big construction. It doesn't matter. We're supposed to be working together as partners, and this is what you're doing. Not just that, I done gave this man, he asked me to borrow $500. I gave him the money with no time frame of him paying me back because I really wasn't going to take the money back. I was going to tell him use the money for the materials
Yeah.
towards the
Work it
house.
all.
Yeah, work it out. We're partners. We're partners. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
so
Trying to
so
keep him
now
happy
he,
and interested and have your back.
it,
Trying to, like I said, take care of them so you can have their back. Like I was saying
it
earlier.
goes back to the ping pong, the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what I went through. So now I said, I got to go back down there to start the plateau, the roof. So I said, you know what? I need a second opinion now. I needed a second opinion because I don't trust it. I don't trust you now. Now I don't trust you. You do something small like that, of course your antennas are going up. So I had to find I had to find another builder, in which I did, a Haitian guy. It just didn't work out. So my friend at the time, Chamo, he said, you know what? He said, "Let me just let." He took over. He took over. He's like, "You've been down here because it was. I'm down there. Time is moving now. I'm only there
Yeah.
for 14 days or 18 days or whatever. I'm only there for a short period of time. So time is moving. So now I'm trying to find to build this guy. It just so happened that his contract is so. Shamu took over, and this is how I done got thus far with the project. But the new builder, once he assessed Kiko's work, now he assessed the man's work, and he said, your house is not ready for a plateau. He said it's not ready for a plateau. He said if you would have continued on with this man, your house would have ended up collapsing on you. It would have ended up collapsing. And then I started finding out shit later on, from the workers because a lot of the people that work that was building my house, they live in the community. I found out that he was stealing my bag of cement. I bought a big Tanako that supplies. I really had no intention on keeping the Tanako on top of my roof, but I needed it for the water supply to do the mixing the cement and
Yeah.
all of that. So I
Yeah.
get back there, I get back. Now I had no intentions. I know all this shit is going on, so I'm playing him smooth. I'm playing him close now, but he kind of feels like something's going on because when I went down there and had somebody assess the property, uh, somebody in the community told him that I was in DR. I had never
Mm.
told him I was there. So it got back to him that I was there. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had to play
Yeah.
it off. I said I was only there for a short period of time, in which I was. I was actually only there for a couple of days, maybe the weekend, 5 days. It was a small little family trip or whatever. But anyway, somebody told him that I was there, so I guess his antennas went up, and he kind of was fishing, like feeling like I was on to something. But yeah, he ended up costing in the end. He ended up costing me $6,000. Okay, shit that he was supposed to do with the plumbing, and it was just, man. God is good, because had it not been for, like I said, for my partner now, Shamo, I'd be up shit's creek right now. I'd be up, you
Well,
know. So
how do you defend yourself against that now? Losing money through construction materials. See,
have you
these are the things that you should try to figure out. And a lot of people don't think about it. They just say just deliver the cement and then that's it.
right,
But no,
right?
I look at
No,
every little thing and I say, how can I micromanage that? And the
and it's
way that
it's
I
really
was going to
hard.
do it, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. Way I was going to do it, all with credit card.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I get in touch with the owner of the big factory or whatever, the president. I talk to him. You know what I mean? When it comes to blocks, I will have a direct connection with him, and I will
Mhm.
transfer so many dollars to him for that block.
And then, and
When it
hold on,
comes to
I'm sorry to cut you off. Because the guys are commenting and the viewers are commenting. It could have been worse. And Suicide Squad said, "Damn!" And I was about to work with that guy. And it goes back. You know, I'm glad y'all said that, because let me tell you, once that shit happened to me, do you know I had two clients already working with Kiko. I had to pull those clients from Kiko, from Kiko, because this is my
yeah,
this is my here it is. I'm trying to help people, and I'm getting screwed the fuck over by somebody that I'm trusting and thinking that's going to do the right thing. And then I'm referring you to two of my clients. I called them right away. Actually, one client I called right away, and then somebody reached out to another client, reached out to me and told me, he said, "Yo, I realized that Kiko's not on your job anymore. I had forgot, that I had put him in contact with him." I had to pull him from Kiko as well, because he little does he know, he's this client speaks Spanish, and he told me what was going on. A brother here from New York. So I had to pull those clients from Kiko and give them to my new builder. You understand? And I told them, I
yeah,
said, I'm telling you, I told them what happened. I said, if you continue on building, letting him with your build, my builder done went over there and assessed all his work. Thank God everything is okay, but they're not moving forward with him, because I advised it. So they decided, they're working with my current builder, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah. I was like, I started getting like, once he did that, I'm like, oh my god, and it was funny, because when I found that out, I was in DR at that time, and I didn't realize it. I'm like, wait a minute, that my client he had some land up in Camus. That next day I drove up there in Camus to see what Kiko did with his construction. And not just that, Kiko had he had his materials just laying out like that. Good thing, it's in a enclosed, the way the client has his property, it's in a country
yeah,
club. It's in a country club, so can't nobody
yeah,
just go in there. So, but
yeah,
he just left his cement blocks just laying out there like that. Yeah.
yeah. No,
So it was
no,
it was it was a it was a lot, man. It was a lot, man. It was a
yeah,
y'all have no idea. That's what I'm telling you.
yeah.
You guys are going into this.
Well,
My
not only that, what you have to look at, because you're dealing with multiple owners.
uh huh.
You know what I mean? So not only do you have to you worry about if they're being straight with you,
Right. Right.
because you're dealing with multiple owners, and then once you even you have to navigate the sale, and then everybody has a story, everybody has a different process to accept the money. It's not all one size fit all, when
Mm,
it comes to purchasing for the terms of the agreement. the time frame which it's all going to be paid in full and whatnot. But when it comes to me, I only deal with projects that I'm going to just deal with exclusively.
Uh-huh.
You know, so all I deal with is my stuff: Golden Eagle 1, Golden Eagle 2, and
Mm-hmm.
Golden Eagle 3. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
one has 35 lots, the other one has 35 lots, and the other one has about 150.
I got to when I
So,
come out when I come out there, I got to check next when you the next time I'm out there, even if you're not there, I got to go and check out because I did advertise it. If y'all want to check out
yeah,
the Golden Eagle, y'all can give them your YouTube channel too. While you
yeah,
because I don't think you gave it
that's,
to them.
yeah, the Golden Eagle Homestead Services. And I also have it in Dominican Republic, and I also have it in South Carolina. Golden Eagle Homestead Services, Dominican Republic, Golden Eagle Homestead Services, South Carolina. So you can
And,
kind of see what I do.
and let me tell
But
you,
like
see
I said,
that's one thing. Go ahead, Clint.
when you're when the realtors, I know I've dealt with a lot of different realtors, and they're dealing with so many different listings. They may be the primary person that has the posting or the listings. You know,
Uh,
you don't know how much clout and how much pull that they can negotiate the land. You know, that's a very tricky thing for you to have to do,
right.
for
Yeah.
you to negotiate with several different people at any given time.
Uh-huh.
Me, I'm dealing with one or two owners that, you know what I mean, that I sit down at the table and we drink coffee, we're friends, and we
Right.
try to do the best thing by the people and the best
People
thing
by the
for
own.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is straight here. You know, everything, I live there. You know, there's a hardware store that we just put up there, and my house situation done changed because I had my house ready to roll with the architect and everything like that. I changed my mind. I'm going to put a plaza up now.
Smart man.
Yeah,
Smart man.
yeah. You know what I mean? I'm evolving, and you should be evolving. You know, with this whole dream. You
Yeah,
know, at
for
first
sure.
I thought I was just going to go up there and just lay back and just enjoy myself and
Hmm.
just relax and chill. And then I figured out. My wife said to me, "Yo, we're going to throw all of our money we have in 500 square meters, and be broke."
Hmm.
She's happy here in South Carolina, and we can keep her not.
Uh-huh.
So I says, well, I thought you were wanted to be happy. She says, believe me, all of this stress you're going through with that lawyer and everything, you don't look too happy. Let's fall back.
Hmm.
So once I fell back, then I said, you know something? Well, we have the land, and let's just go ahead and put a plaza up there, get a little revenue from the stores because that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Because we'll put it right into a realtor's hands, and
Hmm.
then in maybe in a year or two, we'll put a little condo for ourselves up top, and
Yeah.
then get that money and just rent multiple different places all over the Caribbean,
Hmm.
and still generate some money coming through. Because as the prices of rent goes up, that's the time to get in. Before I didn't want to get in at $300, $400 of rent. But
Yeah.
now that the rents are going seven, eight, nine, or talking American prices, I says,
Yeah.
okay. And
Uh-huh.
I don't want to deal with Airbnb changing sheets and all that other stuff, but I can put a storefront up there for like a telephone place or a sneakers place or a little restaurant.
Hmm.
I'm going to put five of them up there. Just side by side, a little plaza, because the
Hmm.
area is in need.
It definitely is. I mean, I know one thing from the video that I seen that you sent me. I just right off the main road, so that's always a plus. That's always a plus. But
Yeah.
so one of the viewers said about
You're blacked
transferring
out.
sending.
You're blacked out on your
I
side.
know I don't understand why. I don't understand, but y'all can hear me, right?
Touch it. Touch your screen. Maybe you'll jump back in.
Nah, nah. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I
You know
can
what?
hear
Here
you.
goes. All right. Well, I'm so I don't want to. I don't want to end the live, guys. So we just gonna talk like this only because I don't want to end it. Um,
Okay.
but G Style says, "Yeah, families." What did G Style say? He said something about. My question is, how do you ascend large amounts of money to DR, and do you send it to the builder directly or to an
Yeah.
attorney? Well, everybody,
Now,
you how you were supposed. Go ahead, Clint.
and like I said, when it comes to that, if you got everything kind of figured out, you back up the situation. Always nickel and dime them.
Yeah,
Put up
yeah.
the
I
one
would never.
percent,
You
spend
never
the
put.
10%.
Yeah,
And then
until
once you start doing that, you have to get money transfer to your lawyer. So you got a paper trail. Once you turned over the money from your lawyer, then he
right,
has to sign that
right.
paper that they picked it up. So if anything goes south, you have the money trail coming out of your bank to the hands of their bank to the
Uh huh.
hands of the lawyer.
Exactly.
You
Exactly, and
know what I mean?
that's pretty much how I did mine. And you need to you can also open up an account, or you can
Yeah,
open up an
but
account too. Because I'm gonna tell you this, guys, and this just recently happened to me because I was in a situation
yeah,
I needed more money, and
yeah, yeah,
this is before I opened up my account. I was in a
yeah.
situation to whereas I needed more money,
For
and
what? For labor? For labor or
for
for
labor, yeah,
material?
for labor, for not for labor, and also to buy more materials. I was already in
Well,
D. I was already in DR, so
yeah, but that's where the credit card comes in.
yeah, but you know what it was? I I had my money, and I had my money. I wasn't,
Yeah,
I had my
yeah,
money, but anyway, uh, I ended up having to transfer money through Zoom, right? Through Carib Express.
mm,
I use a service called Zoom. So I transferred like maybe 3,000. I did like two transactions to three because the most you can do is up to 3,000, and then you got to also take into consideration that they take out their service fee too.
yeah.
So I had
$45.
it was actually a little bit more than that. So I had to go a little under 3,000 because it was their fee that they charged. So anyway,
Yeah,
they ended up canceling my account, blocking me from sending money, so I can no longer send money through Carib Express. I tried two
yeah.
different services. I tried two different services. Zoom. I mean, it's called X XOOM.com.
And you
They
know,
don't let, and then exchange money exchange. I tried, and they sent me an email saying that I sent them my passport ID, and I don't know if they think it's money laundering. I don't know what it
money,
is, but
that's exactly what it is. That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
Because
So
once you go to your bank and you're going to send a wire transfer there, they document what it's for on your end, real estate.
right, right, and that's what I always
And
said. I
then once
always
it
said
goes
real
to their
estate.
bank, it says real estate. And after about 4 or 5 transactions, it's going to get hold up. It's going to get held up.
Uh
They're
huh.
going to test you. It's going to hold up, and then the money's going to be in limbo. The lawyer can't get it because they're going to investigate it because you're sending small increments. I was sending 5,000 at a time. I had to pay 25,000. I was going to do it over a period of 5 months. So when I
Uh
got
huh.
to the last month, the fourth month, that payment never went through. The lawyer said, "Don't worry because everything's documented." But it took about another additional 2 weeks for that money to hit because they put an investigation on it. Now,
Uh
when I
huh.
came for the final payment of the 5,000, I brought that in cash because I didn't
Hmm.
want it to get caught up again. And I was over there, and then the money's held up in limbo
Uh
between
huh.
your bank and their bank.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They put a freeze. They put a freeze on the lawyer's account to get it. And that, you know what I mean? And that made me hot. Made me think that the lawyer wasn't telling me the truth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they
Yeah.
could say that, hey,
And
there
let me
was an
tell and, let
investigation.
me tell you, you got and that's another thing. You got to be careful with the lawyers too, because lawyers are crooked too. You've had your encounter, and I had an encounter with with this lawyer that I was doing business with selling property, and I had mentioned this before in my previous one of my previous videos. So this lawyer, he a viewer bought some land from him, right?
Yeah.
And he bought land from him, and he what happened was I had left his that was it was my mistake. If I fucked up, I fucked up. That's one thing about me. So I left the lawyer's information in the description box. So my viewer contacted the lawyer. Now, I mean, contacted him. Now, we had already had an agreement. Anybody coming through my channel purchasing any land, that I
Yeah.
would get a 10% commission, right?
Yeah.
So the client, he contacted him, and the client contacted me and said, "Yo, J Day, I want to buy that land, or that you have listed on your channel, but I just want to make sure, that the guy is legit, that I'm not going to get screwed." I said, "No, don't worry." He came, highly. I met him through his cousin, so it wasn't like I just met this guy out of nowhere. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I met him.
Yeah.
I met him through his cousin. So I said, "No, he's good. Don't worry about it." So I contacted him. I said, "Listen, I have a client that you met. That he's interested in that property over there in Sosua." He said, "Well, I didn't know that was your client." He said, "You're gonna have to make sure anybody contacting me, you need to let them know that they're coming from your channel. That way, I know this." He said, "So I can't give you the 10%, but I said, okay, so we settled for the 5%, right? We settled for the five. I said, fine, I'll take 5%, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it was a little bit lower than that. He didn't want to give me the five. It was 3%. I settled for the three. So it ended up being about like $3,000. So anyway, uh, make a long story short, he's like, okay, so we settled for that. The client ended up buying the land. He got his deslinde. He got everything. He got all it. So I'm like, well, before he got the paper, because I was keeping in contact with the client. I said to him, I said, "Did you get your papers yet?" He said, "No, it's still in limbo." I said, "Okay." So I contacted the lawyer. I said, "Listen, he don't already paid you. So why do I have to wait for my commission? You guys already got paid." He's telling me,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that he gets his titles and his paperwork before I give you your commission." So I said, "Okay, you know what? It makes sense." So
Yeah.
uh, he contacts me and tells me, "Yo, I didn't got my paper there." And I'm like, "Yo, mind you, I had other clients that was looking to buy land. See, this is what he doesn't understand. You done fucked up all over, because I just don't. Why would you screw over a small measly $3,000 over a more client, more business in the future? And this is a fucking lawyer is what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
you guys
And,
have to.
and I can't understand that about the culture.
I can't. I just can't get my fingers. I just can't. I can't.
No,
It really. I'm like,
it's
here
just
it is.
we're going to
Here
eat
it
as
is.
much as we can right now. We're not going to save anything for tomorrow attitude,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
you got to kind of roll with it. But
You you
like I
you
said,
do.
you got to, you just got to figure out your countermeasures, and you haven't been putting out a lot of, you've been thinking about if everything goes right too much.
Uh huh.
You got to
Right.
think about when
Right.
everything goes wrong.
It
Murphy's
goes
Law.
wrong.
Murphy, the devil, the Diablo. How you deal with the Diablo. I come in with my gorilla suit on. You know what I mean? And they got this law now. You can't cuss them out or call them out their name. They'll sue you. I was threatened with that. They
But
says,
me too, yo, me too. It's funny you say that, Clint, because when me and that lawyer, we was having fucking text wars. We were having
right,
text wars because now I have a paper trail of everything. You telling me, and he was just so. What really irritated me with this guy, he was just so fucking dismissive and cocky about it.
yeah.
He got
Oh, yeah.
really dismissive and cocky. And you know what I told him? I said, sometimes when you're using Google Translate, we might
Mhm.
word it one way and it comes off to
Yeah,
them another way. So
yeah,
what I said to him was that you'll never get another client. And
yeah.
he said it. I guess it translated to him as if I was threatening him. So then he
Yeah,
goes, "Oh, oh, you're threatening me." This is what he's telling me. "Oh, you threatening
yeah,
me?" So I had to clear that shit up real quick. Like, no, I wasn't threatening you. I'm telling you, for what you did, I'll never send
yeah.
you
I'm
another client
being
because that
factual.
was a
You're being
yeah,
factual, but
right,
factual and lies go right out the window. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Unless you say it.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? The guy that
and
did
that's
me wrong held me up for a whole year. Now I'm spending thousands of dollars going back and forth. I had the construction people lined up. I had, you know what I mean? I rapped with them. They were lined up, ready to go. I had architect ready to go. I had the surveyor. You know, I had the concrete factory ready to go. And I go over there, and then he's going to tell me, you know, that I never made that deal with him to put the title in, and I don't know what happened to the money. And then, you know, once I got my money back, I said to him, you know, he said to me through his assistant, because he wouldn't deal with me head up. He says he's gonna give me the money back, but if he hears that I said one thing about him or his business or his ethics, that he's going to sue me. I said, how the hell you gonna hold me up for a year and cost me thousands of dollars, and now you're going to threaten me? You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Because if
And
it
you know
wasn't the other foot, if it wasn't the other
see
foot, I would have just shut my mouth.
exactly, exactly.
You know
But you
what I mean? If
see,
I
this
was
is the
wrong,
thing. This is the thing. The thing is that we're dealing. When we're doing business, you gotta keep and y'all gotta keep this in mind. When you're doing business in DR,
you're
always
there.
keep in mind that you're playing by their fucking
And
rules, their way.
they want you to get involved in their system, the legal system, because that's when they're really going to put the hooks into you and milk you, especially if two gringos go up against the other gringo. Oh, now this is
Uh,
postponed, postponed. Let's keep this thing going on and on and
on
on
and
and
on and
on and
keep
on and on and
prolonging.
on.
Yep. Yeah.
And then
It-
another scenario is if you're sicking another lawyer on another bogus lawyer, that ain't going to happen either. That's going to fall
mhm.
in deaf ears. You know what I mean? Until you steal a chicken and now you done, you know, slander the whole family tree.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But these are the things that you have to and understand and realize and learn to love. Otherwise, you're going to have a long stay and you'll be selling your place real quick. And when it comes to selling your place really quick, make sure you put your place in a decent place where you can sell it really quick and
Uh,
do a good job on it to make it American standard. You know,
right.
don't
Right. That's
build to the
important.
Dominican standard as your exit strategy. You know,
Uh
get
huh.
that permit. You know what I mean? Get that, you know, that dislinde with the property on it, you know what I mean? Like a plat. Get all of that,
Right.
you know, set up,
That
you
way,
know?
the government recognizes that you are the owner of that property.
Yeah.
You don't want to have no issues in the long run where you get your
Yeah.
shit stripped from you because you
Yeah.
are just you're not doing your homework because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
happens. It happens
Because you
all.
didn't pay the
It happens
government.
all the time. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens all the
Well,
time.
well, it happens here. How many jobs get shut down because they didn't do the permit? They can make you tear it down, you know, a deck or a fence or whatever, you know. But you know,
Mm.
it's so called the little white lie is that it's not needed. You know what I mean? Just like
Uh
prostitution is legal, it's not legal. You know what I
huh.
mean? They
Right.
maybe it's lenient, and maybe
Uh huh.
the rules are lax with with the building, but you make somebody mad, they're going to find somebody who's in charge of that department. They're going to bring them to you and shake you down.
They damn sure are. They sure
So
are.
have your stuff in order and have your stuff that have a lawyer set up so any questions, you know, you can refer to them. You know, you're just
Exactly.
the active manager. You know what I mean? If any type of environmental place, the one place, the captain of the harbor. came over and told somebody that he had to pay because he was on the beach, building on the beach. The harbor master came. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people show up in uniform. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But especially in the
And every
stick, you don't know who it is.
hmm
You know what I mean?
and
So
somebody said, I'm reading the comments here. JG1578 says, I love it. I feel like I'm in school. Well, I mean, that's that this is why we teamed up and decided to do this, to just to school people on things that they don't know. You know what I mean? It's still a lot of things that I don't know. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
It's a
and
learning process.
and I will tell you something that I learned yesterday. I will. It's a never ending situation. But like I said, I'm looking for the bad. I'm looking for the ugly. I'm looking for something that I'm looking for the worst possible dirty trick. You know what I mean? Because it's just like catering. Because you walk through in your mind. Even if you have to show up to the place and walk through the building. So once you get there, you already walk there. You already walk the walk. So all you got to do is show up. You understand?
Right,
So if
right.
I already put that scenario in my head, I already got a defense for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know what scenario is going to come because they're coming like a machine gun. You know what I'm saying? All of these different
Yeah.
scenarios, and all of them come at a price. But the new one is this. This is the new one because they love to modify contracts just like they do here.
Oh, oh
If,
yeah.
if,
Oh
if the
yeah.
sale doesn't go through in 30 days, they can give you an extension and modify the existing contract because the contract is only good for 30 days. So you're supposed to put an addendum to that and give them an additional 30 days for this particular contract or draw up a new one. Most likely draw up a new contract going forward, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
say you have this 10 acres, you settle on the 2 acres, the 10 acres, then in a day or so, because you put down 10% or maybe half, then they come back and say, hey, there was a mistake because we measured it all and it was 10.5 acres. And, that is the plat. So you got to pay for the extra 5 acre, the extra point 0.5 and that's going to be an additional charge. And then you say, well, okay, how much is it going to be? Oh, only another $10,000. So let's void this contract here, and I'm going to ship you out the new addendum and increase the money on reflect the money payment and reflect the additional land. But this contract over here is no good no more. So void it. Let's write a paper saying that this contract is no longer good and you wait on the new one. Okay, they shake hands because it all sounds good. And that contract never comes because you voided the other contract. And that's
Uh-huh.
the only contract that you have with a piece of paper that said void.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
See, that's a snake in the grass for you. You see what
Wow.
I'm saying?
See?
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're already over bent over the table and you're hoping and wishing that the deal was going to go through and you dare not, because it happened to me. It happened to me because uh, I wanted 400 and something meters, but then when they measured it out, it came up to a little. It came up to 475. So I had to
Uh-huh.
pay another $1,000.
Uh-huh.
You understand? But luckily, I caught it in the initial because, like I
Right.
said, the lady didn't know nothing about it, and I'm the one that helped her get all of that surveyed. So I was allowed to cut my own lot out to my liking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I
Mm.
had to, stay within the boundaries of, what was feasible to the surveyor, so I didn't knock the whole, measurements off the whole project. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying?
Guys, I just want to say, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe, guys. And I'm reading the comment. JG1578 says, "I love this, learning so much. Thanks a lot, guys. Nah, each one teach one, man. That's what it's all about. That's just what it's all about." But I also wanted to talk about building, building in the compo only because I live in the compo, and it was going back to what you were saying before, Clint, and I had mentioned that previously in my video about how the laws are changing. Right
Hmm.
now is if you're looking to buy land in the compo, is the time to buy it now because eventually that's going to change. They're going to start having restrictions in the compos too. Right now, it's really no restrictions in the compo. The center
Yeah,
city and the
there,
tourist areas.
there are always restrictions, but they're not enforcing them.
Exactly, exactly. So you can kind of get away with you can kind of get
Yeah,
away with that. You can get away with
yeah,
doing
yeah,
certain things in terms of your construction, but it's things that's going to change. That's going to
yeah.
change, and only
Yeah.
because
Well,
you have that.
maybe with the intricate part of the build, they won't be able to decipher, but they can do that eminent domain thing to you. So if they take the land, naturally they take what's on it.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Improper build, or build to not to a certain standard. When it comes, when they were building in the campo, they were building to Dominican standards. You know what I mean? Tin
Yeah.
roof, and that's kind of like a tiny home. You know what I mean? It's
Uh,
really not a house. It's more like a shed
a
or a
shack.
garage.
Yeah, a shack. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So they're held under a different standard. But
Uh-huh.
if you put something up there worth some money, because over 150 or 175,000, you're
You
supposed
got
to
to
pay
pay
property tax on it.
taxes on.
So
Yeah,
not
yeah.
only do I see the permits coming, then I see an appraisal system coming
Uh,
around like they did in
uh,
the city, going around
uh,
reappraising your property to jack up the taxes.
exactly, exactly.
So
And
so that's coming.
another thing, and another thing that I want to tell people because they talk about the prices of like houses and real estate, how expensive it is, and the only reason why you got because there was one thing that I felt was questionable too, how they determine the comps in the area. It's different from here, different here
Mm,
than there. Like you live in a neighborhood, you got a house worth four hundred
yeah.
thousand dollars. All those houses in that around the same price. DR, same neighborhood. One house is worth 400. Another house is worth six, seven, 800,000. So it's just really hard to appraise. I feel like how do they come up with these appraisals?
Well, that's what I said when I first got there. You know what I mean? I seen the shell and I seen the land. I wanted to get an appraiser out there to give me, what I mean, a starting point. An
Right.
appraisal here and a home inspection, normally about a couple $100. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
how bad could it be? But there's only one real certified appraiser in Puerto Plata, and he's one of the Brugals. He's probably connected to the rum people because the Brugals has that
They
up
own a lot
there
of they own a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, up
property
there
up
in
there.
Camus, up there in
Yeah, I
Camus.
know
That's all them up
I know
there.
I have some land up there that I'm advertising for the Brugal family.
Yeah.
I know one of
So
the owners.
he's the one
Yeah.
that says he comes out and appraises it, and he's the only one that can write the papers to keep it consistent with you getting a loan. So if
Okay.
you're not
Okay.
after a loan, there's really no one to appraise it.
Okay.
Not for your own personal belief. You know,
Wow. So you mean wait. So you mean to tell me that these appraisals that they're coming up with are just basically just fictitious?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's crazy,
Yeah.
guys. And this is something I'm learning. This, like you see, it's something to learn. I had no, because I'm like, it was really questionable. I'm like, how are they coming up with these prices? How? You know,
No, they're
same
just they're
community.
just it's how
Yeah,
bad you want it. That's where the
yeah,
price comes in.
but you know what? This is the key, guys. And I had a viewer that reached out to me, and he said to me, he said, "Man, thank you so much. You saved me a lot of money, um, in this house that I wanted to buy in Salmona." So I'm gonna tell you guys this: y'all can take it how you want to take it, but when it comes to real estate and land in DR, everything is negotiable. You hear me? Everything is
Hmm.
negotiable. Okay, so
Hmm.
I'm just letting you guys know that. So if you feel, if I'm just giving you an example. If you look at a house and they're telling you that that house is worth 400 something thousand, hey, you do the American thing. You lowball their ass. You lowball them, and then you come to a medium to where it's a good price for. You feel like, okay, you know what? This is a good price. To a price that's agreeable for not just you but the owner as well. But that's what I that's I mean, because that's the only way you're going to feel like you got a good deal. You know what I mean? You're looking at that house. Goddamn well, the house ain't worth $400,000. I'm gonna give you an offer for what I think it's worth. You understand what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah.
The owner can only tell you yes or no. You know?
Well, when it comes to something, a house that's not going to hold its value, say like a mobile home or a double wide.
Yeah.
You buy this double wide, it's brand new, it's $150,000, right? And it's
Uh
just like
huh.
a car. Soon as you pull it off the lot, that one
It,
might
it,
be a
it,
hundred. I mean, it might be worth a
right.
hundred
It
thousand dollars now.
depreciates.
But what makes that thing valuable is attaching it to a nice piece of land. That's
Right.
what's going to keep that house desirable and keep the market value of it up.
Hmm.
So it's
And
not
not just that,
it's
though.
not
The
it's not the
community.
building, it's the property
Yeah.
and how the
That
property's
the
set,
locate the
the
location and the
location.
community that is and the
Yeah,
community that it's in as well. All those
yeah,
things you have to take into consideration when you purchasing property. You look at it like, okay, you know what is a good is it really worth 400,000? Okay, no, it's not. But look at what's around it. The property, like Clint said, the location, the community, and then you base it off of that. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to give you 400, but I'll offer you 315, and then you work your way up to an agreeable price, and that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Especially if you don't know how they're appraising these properties, because like I said, guys, it was questionable to me. I'm like, well, how the hell are they coming up with these prices? Not when this
yeah.
house over here is worth 200,000, and then you got this house over here worth 500,000. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, they're all
We
built with
seen it.
cement block.
We seen it jump overnight. All of these 60,
Exactly.
70, 80,000. Now they want 180. Who told you that? How did what did you do to it to make it jump 100,000?
1,000, right? But that's why I
No,
tell people,
it's just that the desire
yeah,
thing, not
uh-huh,
the
because
not
you got people
the
that desire, you got people that with money, with that desire to live in DR, and they
yeah,
don't give a
and
damn
that's
how
no
much.
skin, and that's no skin off them
Exactly.
because they're already brainwashed into 300, 400, 500,000. But then when they see
Right.
150,000, that seems like a great deal. But little do they know
Uh-huh.
that thing just got jacked up 100,000.
Exactly. So you have those people. Those kind of people are the reason why the real estate market is getting so expensive in DR. And I
Yes,
tell people
yes.
it goes back to what I said. The time is now. You
It's
better
not
make
going to
it. I
get.
suggest
It's
it,
not
it's
going to get no better.
it's not going to get no better, and it's going to get to a point where middle class people like ourselves are going to be priced
Yeah,
out to the point where we
yeah,
can't even afford to
yeah,
buy
yeah.
anything.
Unless
It's
they
it's like
go
that here in
totally rustic.
yeah, it's like that here in New York City. It's just,
Yeah,
that's just how it is. It's like
yeah.
that here.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
what I think it's a major conspiracy because the same people that control the government and going to put these restrictions in for
Uh
make it
huh.
harder for us, they are the same ones that handle the restrictions to put up these big old high rises. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
So once these high rises gets taken up, you know what I mean? Nobody's going, I mean, at us. Nobody's going to want these houses in the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the rules and the regulations.
Right.
They're going to be too tough. They're going to keep their foot on our necks. And right now, you know what I mean, before all of these big, you know what I mean, these big condos get in here, you know, this is the time to get out there to build, you know what I mean, to get your build in.
Yeah.
Because, you know, all of the building, all of the efforts, all of the materials is going to be supplied to them.
Uh
And you
huh.
ain't gonna get it. It's gonna
Yep.
be a shortage. And if you want it, you're gonna pay double premium.
Exactly. I already said in my last video, the price of materials that went up within the last months, within the 6 months that within the last 6 months, they went up again. I had to spend a little extra on materials.
Yeah, but you could because they're making way for all of that building going on everywhere. Now you see that. Now
Yeah,
you know that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know all there in Sosua Beach, all of those condos are coming
Coming
everywhere. They got the new
not
Marriott
not
going
just
up that way.
not just Sosua, but you have over there in the Malecon and Puerto
Yeah,
Plata. They're
yeah,
building a big. I already have. I did some advertisement on that too. The condos are not ready yet, but it's literally footsteps from the Malecon. So that right there.
yeah,
I mean, it's just people don't understand. Like you seeing expensive now. It's gonna be like
yeah,
the next a Hollywood of DR Puerto Plata.
yeah,
That's how it's gonna
yeah.
be. It's gonna be like
Yeah,
that.
you're going to be priced out.
Yeah, yeah,
You're going to be priced out, just
and
like Wildwood, Atlantic City, you know, Coney Island or whatever, or up there on the Cape. You know, you're not going to be within 50 miles of it. You
that's why I
know,
tell people
and,
now. Now I'm just glad that I said to my one of my friends. I said, even if I never get a chance to build again, at least I'm glad. I'm happy to say that I got it at a good time. I did everything at a good time before shit starts to get crazy because it's getting crazy already.
yeah.
So
Well, I'm not going to let it get crazy with me because me, I'm the kind of guy that'll sit right there and work with them. So I can see shovel to shovel to shovel as a real honest foreman in the trench.
Well, see, it's
You
different for
know,
you. You're hands on. You know the business. You got people for the folks that don't know shit about construction. They got a problem because
well, that's where you can call me. You can call me, and I will take 3 6 months, and you know we can make an arrangement, a small daily salary that will
Mhm.
be kind of consistent with the American wage. You know,
Right,
somewhere around $150, $200 a day to document your build. You know,
right.
with
And
papers, with phases.
same thing with me and my team. You don't have to worry about you know. Let me see what's good with you. Somebody's texting me. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. You don't have to worry about uh somebody managing your property. Like I said,
Yeah.
as you see, I'm home. I can rest at night knowing that my everything is fine. And I was gonna have an updated video for you guys today, but they weren't finished. But tomorrow I will have an update. All the work that they did is done. It's done. Everything is done. So when I go back, all I'll be ready to do is the windows and the bars and stuff. So the pañete is done. The septic, they done did all of that. They done did it all. Yeah. So
I want to say one thing.
uh huh,
And as the time goes, you know, the technology goes right along with it. You
uh
know,
huh.
there's new materials that are coming out. You've seen the styrofoam builds. You know, you've seen the modulars are starting to come over there. You know what I mean? The prefabs. We see
Uh-huh.
the kind, they're pouring forms. You know, there's a lot of different, you know, ways to go about it than just block nowadays. They got interacting Lego blocks
Oh
now,
yeah,
that you
yeah.
pour right in,
It's
where you can
funny. It's
almost do it yourself.
It's funny you say that,
Yeah.
Clint, because I met when I was down there. I met a local man. It's a friend of mine. I met his grandfather, and he was telling me. He said I had already paid for the cement to do the peñete, and he said, "Oh
Mm.
man," he said, "there's a new way of doing that without you having to buy all of that cement. It just it He says it cuts the price right in half, pretty much. You save a
Yeah.
lot of money so you don't even have to do that move the walls anymore. It's a new way of doing it where it's
Yeah.
cost effective.
Yeah.
So I told
Yeah.
him, I said, you know what? It's too late for that now. But when I get ready to do the second level, I told him I will keep you in mind for that on the second level. You know, because it's all about as long as it's going to hold at the same way as the Peñete. He said that he said just the same, and you're saving money. So I said, okay, great.
Yeah.
That's good to know
Yeah.
because I think I'm gonna go that route for the second level for sure.
because because the technology stalled there for a second. And then also you have to remember that the old technology, they're still in bed with the architects. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? The architects is not going to, although there's different companies that will supply it, the architect is going to advise against it
Uh huh.
because we build block here, we build block, we build block, block, block,
Right,
block, block,
right,
block,
right.
block, 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 because they're in the pocket of the block people, and that's all the block people want to mess with
No,
is block.
yeah,
They
they
don't
don't
know
want they,
nothing about nothing
but
else. They don't know nothing
exactly,
about no stick building. They don't know nothing about no styrofoam or forms.
yeah.
Don't know nothing about nothing else.
And they're
You
doing
know.
that styrofoam. They do. I've seen it because I have a friend of mine who has some property out in Trinidad, and she sent me a
Mhm.
video of them building a house with that foam, and I was
So,
shocked. I was like, wow. I mean, I was
okay.
really
Let me tell you. Let
impressed
me tell you
on.
something, brother.
I was really
You just don't
impressed,
know.
really, really
You
impressed.
just don't know. You just don't know. I know all about that because I was going that way first. I already
Uh
been
huh.
certified in Santo Domingo at the M2 factory, Dominicana. That is the
Uh huh.
form plate. I had a 250 square meter build double decker, and I already had the quote of the styrofoam panels. There
Uh
are
huh.
panels that come up, and you put your panel on the pad. You anchor them in, and you spray it with the mortar on each side of the mesh, and then you smooth it out, and then you interlock it. The panels. I mean,
Uh
my
huh.
my panels came up to $12,000, and then I
Mm.
estimated. Then I estimated with concrete maybe another 10 G's. So I
Uh
was
huh.
looking at $20,000,
Oh
20
wow.
$30,000 to do just the hardscape of the house,
Uh
not the
huh.
windows and not the fixtures or nothing like that. But so I had that all set up, and I this is the newest technology. The lady sent me to multiple sites in Samana and Cabrera, to show me houses that are lined up with Canadians and Germans that got them, that what I mean, are selling them like hotcakes. They were making them like cookie cutters, and they just fill up the mountain, and they were making them for like $30,000 a pop. I
Uh
said, my God, I need to get into this. And then I had all of my stuff ready to go. Got
huh.
my design from the architect. I'm going to do it this way. Oh, no, 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 no. I wouldn't do it with the block. You need to go see this guy because the ground moves up there in Coupe. I said, well, where's the soil analysis? Well, I ain't got that. I'm just telling you by experience. Well, show me the schematics for the foundation and tell me what you going to put to circum seed, any earth shifting. Oh well, that's up to the builder with his experience. I said that's bullshit. that the architect should have a analysis of all of the materials and what I mean, and how it's going to survive up there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? With earth, with sinking, with moving, with wind resistance. All of that should have been rated.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Just like any other house, it has to be built to hurricane standards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, I was on his ass about that. But, he's trying to tell me if I want all that, I got to go to the block. And who did he send me to? Is his people.
Mhm.
And then they try to dig into me so much a meter, so much a meter, so much a meter. It's
Uh-huh.
8,000. Right. Back when I left there a couple months ago, it was about $800 a meter. So if you got a 300-meter house, times that times $800. That's what they want to do
Uh-huh.
to build now. So with this other process, I had it down to about $350 per meter.
Uh-huh. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had it all figured out. So so since I didn't build it yet, I was if I did it for somebody else, then I could really make that proper decision. And
Right.
since I can't really make that proper decision, I said, you know something,
You're not going to do it.
screw it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put me a plaza up and I'm going to learn how to build up there, you know what I mean, with this plaza
Uh-huh.
first.
Mhm.
And then, what I mean, then, once you'll learn, you'll start making new friends and you'll figure out, it's another whole learning curve, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you got to push through.
Right.
But you got to fall back and punt. It's just
Mhm.
every time it ain't gonna be a touchdown. And another thing I never I told you about was water, the water situation.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at these beautiful designs and everything like that, but they never heard of the 100-year flood.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? That once in
Uh-huh.
a lifetime flood. A couple years back, Puerto Plata was underwater
Uh-huh.
all
Yeah,
the
they don't.
way from the mountain, the base of the mountain over there where the cable car is. That's the
Uh-huh.
base of the mountain. All
Yeah.
the way to the Malacon,
Yeah, and down to the
all the way
barrios and
from
all down to
Conference
the
C,
yeah,
all the way
down to
from
the
Conference
barrios.
C, all the way to McDonald's
See,
underwater.
and you know what I'm gonna get. I already said just for a safety precaution because I'm up there in the mountains. I want to get a
Mhm.
French drain.
Yeah, I sent you
Yeah,
that YouTube. You see how
yeah,
you put that around the side, but
yeah,
still you're still up against a baby mountain. Let's just
yeah.
hope you don't get nothing torrential right there. Sometimes if
Uh
you get something torrential and isolated, there ain't no stopping it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But with me, I said to myself, I was not going to get involved with anything or buy anything that could even had the slightest 1% chance of taking on water. So what did I
Uh huh.
do? I found the ridge of the mountain. I'm at the tippity top of the mountain. So on both sides are sloped down. I'm at the top.
Uh huh.
My whole project is at the top, and as you keep going down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it goes down, and some of them could be subjected. You know, what I mean, if you don't, you know, do some type of swale or some type of water retention basin, to divert the water. Kind of
Right.
curve the land a little bit. Some type of water diversion. But
Uh huh.
I always, but a lot of people don't know about Earth. I was at one time, I worked for Mainline Pipe, one of the biggest construction companies, and what we used to do was put in big basins, water basins that look like lakes and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Uh
So I have an eye for, I've seen rain come and fill up something huge in like a day or two. That water's
huh.
no joke. Water is no joke. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
just like in Delaware, when I brought my house, you never buy uh, property in the summertime because
Uh-huh.
everything's dry, the ground is hard. Then when I came
Yeah.
back in December to clear the land, it was a lake.
Mm.
It was a lake. And I said, holy smokes, what am I going to do now? But I had experience. I took a big track hoe in the back of the land and opened the land up, and found a
Mm.
creek and drained the swamp. And then I
Mm.
elevated the land with because I lived near a concrete factory. I took all of the back debris, the rinse out of the concrete factory because it was free, and just rented a couple triaxles over a period of time, and just dumped all of that rubbish of a washout of stones that just elevated my land. Then when Walmart came in, they gave me a lot of overburdened dirt, and then I put
Uh-huh.
that in there. Then I took a bulldozer and smoothed it all out. But that
Uh-huh.
was like a 5-year process to get that,
Mm.
under 100% control.
Uh-huh.
So, I got an eye. I got an eye for that. It
Mm.
caught me one time, but it won't catch me again.
See? I know
But
that's
if it
right.
does catch me, you got to know how to handle it. You know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
man will get you. The man, if you don't know how to manipulate a little backhoe or some type of bush hog or chainsaw, you better get your skills up.
Yeah, it's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Or
You
or
better
or
get.
or have the money to pay for it.
Well, you don't have the money to pay for it.
you know.
One
But
second,
yeah,
huh?
guys.
Do I want
Yeah,
something?
guys.
No.
I'm sorry about the black screen. My screen froze. So for those of you guys who just tuning in, the screen done
Yeah,
froze, and I didn't want to cut the live off just because of that. So that's why
yeah,
y'all don't see me. Y'all don't see my face. But
yeah. And like I said, I have a
yeah. So
little
I
unknown
hope. I hope.
YouTube channel, Golden Eagle Homestead
Yeah.
Services, and in Spanish is Aguila Dorada
Yeah, check him.
Homestead
Check out.
Service.
Check out my man Clint's YouTube channel. He's growing his channel. He's still growing.
Yeah,
And that's what it's all about: networking and connecting.
it's a
As I
passion.
said,
It's a
that's what it's
passion
all
for
about, man.
me.
It's a
It's a passion for me to beat the system.
right,
You know what I mean?
and not just
I'm, I'm
yeah.
like the first black guy that moved in the white neighborhood. I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? I want that feeling. You know what I mean? I want to open up the floodgates and let us all in. You know what I mean? I'm doing this as a passion and as a dream, and I want to share it with you. If you have the same desire to be, out of the matrix and live your best life, work on your health is your wealth, and your
And
time
that's
is your
that.
riches.
Yeah, that's another thing. The wealth, health. Because that, as you guys know, that's what I'm all about. You investing in DR is not about just
Yeah,
investing in
and then
in,
you
in
get
your
there,
it's all about
and
mind, body, and soul as well.
yeah, yeah, and then you spend all this money and you get there, and then you drink yourself to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen to me. At
Right.
50, you get another deck of cards. You're a little younger than me. You get At 50, you
Mm-hmm.
get another deck of cards, and it's how you play those cards.
Right.
I used to drink. I used to do a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, but I knew that I couldn't take this into the other half of my life because what I was doing didn't work for me. So 2 years of not drinking, I had accumulated more than I ever did in my whole life.
Mm.
So I'm
Mm.
63 and I've been 12 years or so sober. And
Mm.
as you can see, look, I'm
Oh yeah.
63 and buff like like Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? I ain't going to die, cuz
I fe-
I'm not going to die. I'm not
I
going
said
to
the
die.
same.
I found the
I
fountain
said
of
the
youth
same
over
thing.
there. I found a reason to live. You know what I mean? I'm taking my
Mm-hmm.
grandson over there the 14th. and I'm going to show him all of the holdings, and I'm going to put everything in a trust, in a living trust, and I'm going
Hmm.
to pass him the baton. You know what I mean? I want him to start looking on a world scale. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because
And
I
I
can
tell
help him.
I tell brothers, like, for me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I'm what you call a late bloomer. I didn't take my first trip out of the United States until I was 32. 32
Hmm.
years. I'm 43 years old. You know what I mean? So I started in my late 30s. I didn't start this until my late 30s. And once I got out there and got my feet wet, I never stopped. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I was missing out on a lot in my 20s. In my 20s, I partied and I did a lot of shit that I would. I mean, I don't. There's no regrets, but I'm just like, I started late, but once I started, I never stopped. And
Yeah.
and look
Well,
where it has led me. Look where
well,
I never knew. I never would have thought I end up buying property in the Dominican Republic and
yeah,
building a fucking
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
This is where
Well,
it led me.
if you pay attention to your dreams, it will reveal itself to you. Maybe in the middle of the night, maybe in the morning, just a passing thought might just go through your head. And then you say, hey, that was a premonition. You know what I mean? Because let me tell you, everything I've done so far in my life, I already seen it flash before me. Because I feel if I can envision it, I can get it. I can kind of point myself in that direction. If I can envision it, it's already done.
Hmm.
You understand? And let me give you a quick story. You want to hear a quick story? I
Go
I
ahead.
don't like going back too far to tell you when I was jammed up. I was jammed up as a young cat one time, right? And I'm sitting back.
Hmm.
I got a little bit of time, maybe. I did 3 years. I ain't gonna lie. Nothing to lie about, nothing to be ashamed of. You know what I mean? I kind of wear it like a badge of honor now, you know? But anyway, uh, there was an old head. My one of my buddies came up to me and said, "Yo, man, I want you to move in with this old head because before somebody moves in with him, and he's a cool dude. You'll like him. You'll get along good with him." So I says, okay. And I went over there. I said, yo, what's your name? He says, my name is Jose. I says, where are you from? He said, Dominican Republic. I ain't know about nothing about no Dominican Republic. Only Dominican
Uh-huh.
I knew was Sammy Sosa. Remember when he was going up against McGuire, Sammy Sosa? Remember that for the home
Yeah,
run? For the whole
yeah.
run record. So that's who I call myself, Sammy Sosa. That's what they call me because that's the only Dominican I knew was Sammy Sosa. So I might to ride with him. So anyway, to make a long story short, we used to sit up in there for many many long nights. The dude was a school teacher, so he was very versed in English and Spanish. His second day here in America, he went over to his family in his cousin's house and the cops ran up in there, busted the house. They found something in the house, and they jammed him on his second day in and gave him 3 or 4
Damn.
years. And he didn't know
Wow.
nobody. He had nobody. He wanted me to kind of contact the embassies and all types of shit. I'm like, well, I don't know nothing about that, my man. So we just got to sit back and go for the ride here. You know what I mean? So as we're going for the ride, he's telling me all of these stories, how nice it is in Puerto Plata. And I envisioned myself over there. I said, something, that's the type of life that I want to live. You know what I mean? Where the girls are walking around and they're so beautiful and their hair and the light this, the light eyes, and, all of that beautiful exoticness, what I mean? It was like he was really touching my senses with what he was putting down, and he was telling me, if you ever go there, you got to go there, you got to go there. So I said, okay. So many years go by, many years go by. I forgot about the dude and everything like that, and I was about 50. I says, that's the first time I went over there. I said, something, I went on the map. I said, where am I going to go? I don't even know what country, whatever. I got to get out of here. I want to do something. I got to try something. And went,
Uh-huh.
I said, maybe the Dominican Republic. I said, yeah, that's that dude. He told me about it. And I went, and I used to write cookbooks and stuff like that in there. And I went back there and I found out his address and where his people was. You
Uh-huh.
understand? So I said, you know something, now this is 1980. So we're talking from 80 to 2000, 80, 90, 2000. We're talking 30 years or maybe 40 years. I don't know. You got to do the math. You understand?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I says, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to find this dude. You understand? So I
Mm-hmm.
found the family when I went in Puerto Plata. He was way up in the Bavario, up in Bada La Casa, because you know everybody knows everybody. You know, if
Right.
you ask enough people, you know, you'll hunt
Yeah,
them
you'll
out. You know, you
find.
start passing a couple dollars out. You know what I mean? They took me right to his house. They took me, and his brother was there, and his uncle was there, and his son was there, and the dude died about 2 or 3 days before I got there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know what I
That's
mean?
crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that was a 30-year journey that man planted a seed in my mind. And once I
Mm.
got there, everything that he said to me, it felt like I'd been there before. It was like all deja vu. And this man didn't tell no lie. It was all that and a bag of chips. and
Wow.
ever and ever since then, you know what I mean? I kind of, I think of myself as a dual citizen, you
Uh-huh.
know? You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
citizen of the world, just
Hmm.
not a West Philly, you know, uh, uh, a person from a graduate of West Philly, you know what I mean? I'm on the world stage now, and that's the way that you should feel. You know, the world is your oyster, man. And just don't get caught up with paying these rents and dealing with these bad relationships, because there's always a better way to skin a polecat. You know what I mean?
Def-
And that's the and
Definitely.
that's and that's the way I feel about it.
Hmm. Well, all right, guys. We don't. I wanna. We'd have been on here almost an hour and 30 minutes, so I'm gonna end the live.
Yeah.
Y'all be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe, guys. I appreciate all the love and support, man. And I'll be talking to y'all soon. Until next
And I
time.
want to I want to I want to end on this note. Okay, my number is 267-608-6093. My name is Clint. I'm with the Golden Eagle Homestead Services. I will be in the DR August the 14th for the duration of that month, probably to September or so. So if there's something that you need researched or something that you want me to maybe put my eye on to make sure that it's buildable, make sure that any questions that you may have, I will give you my personal opinion upon it. So, take advantage of that. I'm going to do that pro bono for you as a gift to Jay, you know, to help anybody that's really serious. I will give them the once over when I get out there. So allow
And
me to
that's
do that for you.
and that's what it is. That's what it's all about, guys. Like I said, each one teach one. It's all about connecting. You know what I mean, and networking. You never know who you might come across. You know what I mean. It's a
Yeah,
small
yeah.
community in Puerto Plata, but it's enough. It's enough money for all of us to go around. You know what I mean.
Well,
And that's how
if
you reap your. That's how you reap your blessings. All right.
brother,
But
brother, if we found each other in this maze, you know what I mean? Just think of the strength that we will have standing back to back in that small little town. That ain't no
I.
problem. That little town ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Not nothing to me. You know what I mean? I've vended the streets of Philadelphia serving shish kebabs and hot dogs 100 at a time. You know what I mean? So that ain't nothing to me. I'm doing this in retirement. That's how, it's nothing. It's nothing to it but to do it, but you're going to need someone who's who already took it on the chin, that saved a lot of time and can
so that
answer
you don't have to
some
go,
real questions. And we
and
have
that
no
that way you don't
problem.
have to go through. That way you don't have to go through those headaches of
And those
navigating
hoops,
yourself.
and
You
those
know.
hoops, and those fights,
Yeah.
because they are coming. Trust me, nobody's
Oh yeah.
immune. Nobody's immune to the Diablo. The Diablo. It's just how many fangs that you let him put in you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, he might bit me, but he ain't pulling no meat off us.
For real. But all right, guys, I'm gonna
All
end
right.
this live
Hey,
now.
hey, thanks, brother. You got to have me back.
Definitely, for sure, for sure. We definitely gonna connect again. But until next time, guys, remember, hit that like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. Peace and love, and y'all be safe out there.
All right. Golden Eagle Homestead Services. Thank you.